everyone. Thank you for joining us on Weather Out West. I'm meteorologist Leah Pizzetti, and here's what we are tracking for you today. Snow season is here. Snow in Denver brought a mess on the roads over the weekend. We're also expecting some snowflakes later today in eastern Washington. We will walk you through impacts to expect from our weather experts. And it's not just the snow falling, it's time to dust off the holiday decor. People are starting to haul out their holiday decorations. We are talking to some people who say they're opting out of real trees, or they're opting into real trees this year over buying fake ones. Plus, Sadie, a 5-year-old black lab, is now united with her family after she was swept out to sea in Southern California. We hear from the rescuers and her grateful owners. And later, do you have wildlife tearing apart your yard? A gardening expert shows us why crows and raccoons may be causing chaos on your lawn and why it's not them you should be upset about. Happy Monday. Welcome to Weather Out West, the hour-long show where we showcase what's happening weather-wise across the western United States. I'm your host, meteorologist Leah Pizzetti. It is officially December. The Thanksgiving week is now behind us. We all get a little bit of a breather for the December holidays before they take over. We hope everyone did make it home safely from their Thanksgiving travels. And if you are heading home from your holiday weekend today, you may want to check the forecast first. Forecasters say a new system is taking shape today in the Mid-South, near where Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas meet. They predict snow in much of the northeastern United States this week and heavy rain south of that. That is causing flight delays and cancellations across the country, even here along the West Coast. This system follows a previous one that snarled weather over the weekend. Indiana police say 45 vehicles were in a pileup Saturday with no major injuries. Delta says no one was hurt when a plane slid off an Iowa runway. FlightAware reports roughly 12,000 delays and 1,000 United States cancellations yesterday. And in Colorado, multiple crashes shut down Interstate 70 for the better part of the day on Sunday. One crash included as many as 20 cars that slipped and collided on the icy roadway. 30 more drivers were involved in another pileup just 15 minutes later. The crashes took place near the Glenwood Canyon area. Colorado State Patrol troopers say that conditions near there were icy and visibility was down to about 500 feet. The road was reopened by Sunday night, and thankfully, no one was injured here. Let's get now to our forecast in Colorado. Chris Bianchi and Katie Lassell are watching the snow potential moving forward into this week.
And I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Bianchi out here in Denver, Colorado, where it finally snowed for the first time this season back on Saturday morning, November the 29th. A whopping 0.2 of an inch of snow. Saw a little bit more snow last night, Sunday night as well. Hey, at least it is starting to look and feel a bit more like what you might expect Denver and Colorado to look like this time of year. Cold and on the snowy side. Got some leftover mountain snow for today. And here across the eastern plains, a story for us from Denver on east. It's cold. Our average high this time of year, 47 for us here in Denver. We're going to be way below that for us here. Highs only in the 20s for us across the mountains, where they picked up several inches of snow overnight into early this morning. Now, our next storm system of note will arrive for tomorrow and into especially Wednesday morning with a good hit of snow. And in Denver, again, a lot's been made of the fact that we went 225 days without measurable snow for us in Denver. We have not seen any kind of real snow yet, right? We've seen just some of that meteorological dandruff, right? Just a little snow on the car tops, on the grass. But the first real snow of the season may come here on Wednesday and Wednesday morning with a few inches of snow likely for us across the Denver area. And then I'll spread south into the I-25 corridor around Pueblo and Colorado Springs. We'll have more details on this tomorrow on Tuesday with some snowfall totals and more details on those expected impacts. But the overall takeaway here, folks, first shovelable Denver snowfall likely for us on Wednesday morning, and we have a potential weather impact alert for that on Wednesday as well. Overall, that forecast, a pretty chilly one. Mentioned our average high this time of year for the first week of December. It's in the upper 40s. We are going to be mostly in the 30s and lower 40s most of this week. It will warm up this weekend with some mountain snow likely for us on Wednesday, and also once again for us this weekend with some wind likely as well.
I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team's Katie LaSalle. It is Monday, December 1st, and it has been a slow start to our ski season here in Colorado. Continuing to make snow up at our ski resorts, but fortunately over the weekend we did pick up some measurable snowfall, and we are still seeing snowflakes flying up over Aspen Snowmass. Very helpful with a low Colorado snowpack. We're at 36% of median. These numbers will continue to go up here for today, and especially as we get into Wednesday with more of these snow totals adding to that, but it will be very helpful to open more terrain over our high country. Places like Aspen Snowmass in the last 24 hours picked up a foot of fresh snowfall, and you saw flakes are still flying there. Beaver Creek at 8 inches, Wolf Creek ski area, 10 inches of fresh snow. Good amount, a half of a foot near Vail, Steamboat, and around 4 inches near Loveland ski area. The metro area officially early Saturday picked up 0.2 of an inch of snowfall. That's not a lot, but we are bracing for more measurable snowfall. It looks like that could impact our roadways here across the Denver area as we get into Wednesday morning. So we are tracking our next storm system. We have issued a weather impact alert for early Wednesday. Snow will be likely, especially falling through the morning commute. You'll want your snow scraper just on the car if you have your car left over overnight outside, and also potentially a shovel with around 1 to 3 inches of snow across a big portion of the Front Range and Plains. Most of the snow, though, will occur into the high country. Heaviest amounts will be over our northern and central mountains. The I-70 drive, winter weather driving conditions to be expected. Traction laws will potentially take effect, and over the I-25 corridor here in Denver and across the eastern plains. That's where we're expecting early Wednesday through at least midday of seeing that snow pile up in slightly more significant totals. Now, this is not a major storm system by any means for the metro area, 1 to 3 inches to be expected, but into the mountains, it's great to see. It's one of the later first snowfalls that we've ever seen. We did not hit the record latest first snowfall on date with our Saturday snow, but this definitely will be more of a snow event for the metro area with temperatures cold as well. 30 degrees only the expected high on Wednesday, and as those overnight lows drop down to the 20s, we're talking some slick, icy, snow-covered spots. So just be prepared for that. Make sure you're ready. Have the winter jackets out. We have felt some cold air over the past 36 to 72 hours across a big portion of the state. Not as cold, though, as we round out the week. Friday, we're back to seasonal temperatures, and for the 9 News Parade of Lights is looking milder. By 6 p.m., we'll be in the 40s and a high of 50 degrees expected to start the weekend.
Thanks, Katie. Snow is expected to fall in eastern Washington as well. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is watching potential snow accumulations from Spokane.
I'm meteorologist Thomas Patrick in Spokane, Washington. Happy meteorological winter. It's been a calm morning, but we're already forecasting our next batch of snow, which will be here by tonight at the latest. Might even see a few flurries ahead of time during the afternoon. So a lot to track in what is now a weather impact alert day for us. Not a big snowstorm, but just enough to affect the Tuesday morning commute primarily. So we wanted to make sure everybody got some heads up on that for this light snowfall event. I think for most of us, it'll be in this 14-hour window between 8 p.m. tonight to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Just a couple clusters of snow showers that will start passing through eastern Washington and North Idaho, which will result in probably about 1 inch of total snow. Less for some, more for others. First wave of really light flurries just crossing into northern and central Washington this morning. The main event, though, will mostly wait until about 8 o'clock for tonight. In terms of winter weather advisories, this is mainly for the North Idaho mountains and mountain passes. So Lookout Pass, which is between Idaho and Montana, will be included in that. Time frame here is 1 p.m. to 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. 1 p.m. because that first wave of snow might be a little bit heavier for the mountains specifically and less so for the lower elevations. So here's what I've got in terms of like forecast notes and details. It's a light snow. In fact, in Spokane, I'm forecasting a ½ an inch of snow, which is hardly anything. But the key here is this time it sticks. Last time it was slushy, it was wet, it was melting as it hit the ground and the roads. This time it sticks because it's been below freezing recently and stays that way even today. High temperature only 32 degrees this afternoon, and it'll stay in the 20s for tonight. So this afternoon, we get that first round of either light snow for the mountains or really just flurries around Spokane. And then the main wave is a bit closer to 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. So a few snow showers, enough to start sticking to the ground and the roads and not just the grass. And then tomorrow morning, we get a second cluster of some scattered snow showers. This is 6 a.m. for Tuesday, so I do think the commute will be a bit impacted by that, especially if that ½ inch or 1 inch of snow wants to stick around. Untreated roadways will end up faring a bit worse than those that are treated. So I-90 probably gets off okay because of the WashDOT treatments. But if we get a ½ inch or 1 inch of snow, untreated, that is enough to make things a bit slippery. So side streets, turning lanes, those left turn lanes, those can oftentimes be a little bit slipperier than we would like them to be. So about a ½ inch for eastern Washington, 1 to 2 inches for most of North Idaho. You can also include northeastern Washington in that. If anything, it's the Silver Valley at 2 to 3 inches that ends up getting the most snow. So this is mostly going to be a pretty minor impact, but it's not nothing for snowfall for Tuesday morning. The more moderate snow impacts will be over Shoshone County, Silver Valley, and Lookout Pass. As mentioned, it's going to be cold. That's been the difference here. It was 30 degrees yesterday, high of just 32 today, and it stays in the 20s overnight. So that's why we'll end up with about a ½ inch or 1 inch of snow in the Spokane Coeur d'Alene metro.
My goodness, highs in the 30s. Well, there may not be snow in Portland, but that does not mean it's not freezing. Coming up, a look at the cold weather in Oregon. Welcome back. This year, tree farms are seeing renewed interest from some new customers. Due to tariffs, prices on fake trees have skyrocketed. That's pushing a new crowd to go out and cut their own down. Take a look.
Whether it's bringing a new generation into an old tradition,
It fell on you.
or creating a brand new tradition,
Like, this is going to be our new tradition. Like, my sister and I are going to bring our kids here, and it's going to be fun.
picking out your own Christmas tree is a holiday tradition many observe the day after Thanksgiving. This year, in addition to longtime customers, Store Pines saw many new faces like Tiana and Tegan Brooks.
We just had a great Thanksgiving yesterday, and so this is just like getting us ready. We did some Black Friday shopping this morning, so we're definitely geared up.
But what's bringing families to the tree farm instead of big box stores for artificial trees? Economic experts say it may be the prices. The American Christmas Tree Association says tariffs are driving the price of artificial trees up. More than 80% of artificial Christmas trees are made in China. According to the Real Christmas Tree Board, 84% of tree growers are not raising prices this year. That's despite some tough growing seasons and increased overhead costs. Whether the tree is real or fake,
Shop local and just come at things with just a place of gratitude.
it's the holiday memories that bring these families together.
Well, it is cold in the Northwest, and Portland felt the first freeze of the season. Meteorologist Rod Hill is watching the cold temperatures in Oregon.
Hello from a chilly Portland on this first morning of December, and we did it. So far, we had not been freezing. We never hit freezing in October. We never dropped to freezing in November. And here we are in this first morning of December. The unofficial low, this will be coming out officially on the report from the Weather Service later today. But it looks like between 2 and 3:30 this morning, we were down to 30 degrees. So the first freeze of the still fall season, technically. Now, December 1 is the start, this is confusing, of meteorological winter, December, January, February. So the new climate highs, today is the day that the climate average, this is the average of the temperature literally over the last 30 years, every day, drops below 50. Now the average high is 49, the average low is 38. The records for today's date, December 1, 63, boy, that'd feel good, and 20 is the record low. So we were freezing this morning, but of course not in record territory. Now, this auto plot, unfortunately, only picks up the hourly numbers until later today when it clicks into what the actual reports are. So we know Portland's been down to 30, but I still want to show you how widespread some of the freezing temps have been. Vancouver was down to at least 31, Hillsborough at least 30, Aurora down to at least 32 degrees, Tillamook was 32, Astoria was 37. There's the freezing number in Salem where we saw some light frost on the grass earlier this morning. And of course it has been freezing a number of nights out in the gorge, and this morning was back down to 28 degrees in Hood River. So we're watching a weak system. It's kind of on the back part of these clouds. Radar's been showing maybe we've had some sprinkles up around Astoria and Long Beach this morning along our north coast. But basically these will just be passing mid to high level clouds throughout the day. So it's kind of a mostly cloudy to partly sunny day, really statewide, with dry weather overall expected. Our cameras have been really nice at times, showing some breaks in the cloud cover and some morning color. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Here's a look at our mountain. Again, this is old snow, which is now kind of a broken dusting of snow. You know, usually Thanksgiving weekend, we hope to be open. Of course, we weren't this weekend. The outlook for this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows some decent moisture with snow levels as low as 400 to 3,500 feet. So maybe there could be over a foot of snow coming this coming weekend at Timberline Lodge. If so, fingers crossed, maybe that's the snow that actually starts building our snowpack. At this point, we're in dire need of starting to get some snow on the hill. All right, our Salem Sky Camera, there you go. We had some frost, as I mentioned, in front of the Capitol earlier this morning. And there's our camera downtown Portland. A little brightness kissing the tops of the downtown high-rises. Temperatures this afternoon will be chilly. In fact, only 30s in eastern Oregon. Bend over in vacation land of Central Oregon, if you will, about the same as Portland, each expected to be 46 degrees. Here's our 7-day forecast. So this morning's low, the coldest of the bunch, 46 this afternoon. Tomorrow, either nothing or some sprinkles or less than 5/100ths of an inch, so not much rain. And basically, as I mentioned, pretty quiet all the way through Thursday. Then rain picks up, 3 wet days, could be well over an inch total. Hopefully we need it over these 3 days, with heavy snow at times over the Cascades and a potential snow level getting as low as 3,500 feet. If that comes true, that will be a big story. And that is your forecast, a chilly Monday in Portland.
Thanks, Rod. It is also cold in Idaho, but they are watching better chances for snow. Hector Mendoza is watching those snow chances in Boise these first few days of December.
Well, here in the Treasure Valley, Mother Nature decided to wait till after Thanksgiving to give us a little taste of some Christmas spirit here. There you can see our first dusting of snow across portions of the Treasure Valley. And what was left behind was absolutely fantastic as we got a winter wonderland out in Nampa. So I wanted to show you that picture there. Here is South Nampa, really close to Marsing here. Shona Lee posted this on our Idaho Weather Watchers Facebook page, and just how beautiful it looks out there. And that's what it looked like there for Sunday morning. And even out in Wilder, you could see some of the lights in some of the trees here. Julie posted this, and you could see some of the lights with that snow just looking absolutely picturesque there for Sunday. But most of that really started to melt away as we got towards the afternoon, as things started to warm up. We got a little bit more of that sunshine. But as we look at the wrap up of November, this was the view here at some of the temperatures here for the month of November, starting off in the low 70s. But if you look on ahead here during the past couple of weeks, all of these temperatures have stayed above average, so it's been one of the warmer Novembers we've seen in previous history. We're also noticing that there, a gray spot right there, yesterday was the only time that we saw temperatures right on that average there. For the most part, most of those temperatures were much warmer here. But as we look at the December preview, temperatures start off into the low 40s. Then as we get towards the end of the month, temperatures drop down into the upper 30s. Low temperatures start off into the upper 20s, mid 20s by the end of the month. So it stays pretty frigid for the most part, as we are going to start off today. Started off with temperatures there into the low 20s. So again, a very frigid start. As we look at some of the precipitation totals, normally we sit around just a little over 1.5 inches. And then in terms of snow, we get a little over about 5.5 inches of snow. So we are anticipating seeing a little bit more of that as we continue on, as we do have a chance to see that on Tuesday, as we will see maybe a chance there of a skiff of some snow across portions of the Treasure and Magic Valley as the next system comes in for tomorrow. But for today, a seasonable and quiet start as we have this ridge of high pressure that's really going to continue with us here through the beginning of this work week. And then we have a chance of some of those showers there as we head on towards tomorrow. So I wanted to take a look at this futurecast here as we are seeing pretty quiet conditions. And this is what's going to stick around here as we get towards the rest of our Monday. So by 6 o'clock, we could see a chance of some of those snow showers rolling through. But as we fast forward here, we're going to start to notice that Tuesday is where we see a little bit more of those widespread showers making their way through portions of the mountains. Now, there is a chance that we see a little bit more of that rain, a chance of some of those temperatures continue very cold through the morning, that we see a skiff of that snow. But again, we'll keep an eye on that as we continue on through the rest of the day today and heading into Tuesday. Then by Wednesday, we're going to see another dry up of conditions, and those temperatures look to stay pretty similar there into the low 40s here for today. And Thursday will continue with a little bit more of those drier conditions here in the valley. But as we look at portions of the mountains, again, a chance of some of those snow showers there for tomorrow morning. Some of those snow levels still stay relatively high there through Tuesday. But as we look on ahead, a chance for some moderate to even heavy snowfall comes in there for the weekend. And as we look at the 7-day forecast, temperatures are also expecting to climb up into the upper 40s, low 50s, with a chance of rain there for Friday and Saturday.
Let's go now to the Golden State. A dog named Sadie was enjoying her vacation in Southern California, but that was before she was swept out to sea. When we come back, we hear from the men who rescued her and the grateful owners. Welcome back. A dream vacation to San Diego for a Central California family turned into a nightmare when their dog was swept out to sea. Just as rescuers were about to give up the search, they spotted something in the water. Here's how 5-year-old Sadie made it back home safe and sound.
Hi. Brandon Valdez and Alexis Barcelos from Los Baños in Central California are holding their 5-year-old Black Lab mix Sadie a little tighter tonight.
You don't want to overwhelm her, but you just want to look her, squeeze her.
Sadie's still recovering after quite the adventure on Sunday, bolting from their Point Loma Airbnb.
Her and her sister both kind of ran out the door. Remy came right back. Sadie just kept going and was on a mission.
An air tag on her collar led the family straight to Dog Beach.
Just had a surfer run up to the truck. He's saying there's a dog that's on the jetty.
Lifeguards and Coast Guard swarmed the area. Sadie was last seen in the channel where the current was strong.
It was difficult conditions. There was a little bit of swell.
Lifeguards Garrett Smurden and Jack Aldridge searched by jet ski.
It was about 300 yards outside the channel.
A half hour had passed when animal searches are typically called off.
A complete blur. We're frantic. I wanted to get in the water. They didn't let me.
As the hour mark approached, the search ended.
When somebody says, it's about that time, we got to cut it off. And then you get some hope.
Valdez clinged on to that hope as Smurden and Aldridge made their way back to Mission Beach where they're stationed. They made one more pass 3/4 of a mile out.
I'd say 30 yards ahead of us, and Jack kind of spotted something in the water, pointed it out, and then we went back into a little trough and we lost it. And then when we came back up, we realized it was Sadie.
And they were and she's alive. We were already crying. We just fell to the ground, broke down.
She's going to be okay. We're just so happy she didn't give up, or she just had a reason to keep going.
Sadie's still recovering. Her lungs are good, but her pads are gone from climbing the jetty rocks.
But when we, have a success story like this, where we get to reunite Sadie with her owners, it makes the job 1,000% worth it.
Both lifeguards have dogs of their own at home. Smurden even has a Black Lab mix.
We gave our dogs a big kiss. Yeah.
I just wanted them to know how grateful, seriously, that we are for this.
Forever indebted.
Yeah.
In Ocean Beach, Abby Black, CBS 8.
So glad that worked out. After the break, we are going to the Northwest with a look at the next disturbance that moves in and what that means for rain and snow chances in Western Washington. Welcome back to Weather Out West. Thanks for sticking with us. We mentioned Portland feeling the first freeze of the season. The same happened in Seattle over the weekend. Sunday's low of 31 degrees at the airport was the coldest temperature felt since mid-February, showing winter is coming. Let's go now to meteorologist Rich Marriott in Seattle with a look at if these cold temperatures will stick around in Washington.
Hi, I'm King 5 meteorologist Rich Marriott. We've made it to Monday after Thanksgiving in pretty good shape. The weekend, though, cooled down. It was our coolest temperatures, overnight low temperatures around Puget Sound that we've seen since last February. Out at the airport at SeaTac, got down to 31 degrees yesterday and 46 degrees, only 3 degrees below our normal high for the day. Quite a bit cooler there as it often is there in Olympia. 29 degrees their low, and they were 7 degrees below their normal high. Only hit 40 degrees, barely made it out of the 30s yesterday. So some of the coolest air we've seen in a while, that's for sure. And we're going to see those morning lows gradually warm back up again, though we did have another cool one today. But no surprise, I guess we're about 20 days away from the winter solstice, or as we like to call it, the countdown to when we start to see more daylight once again. So that's getting closer and closer. Checking those low temperatures this morning. See, it was another chilly morning out there. We got all the way down to 29 degrees in Shelton, 31 degrees in Olympia, and 30 degrees in Puyallup. So the South Sound areas, as usually the case, fairly cool. But most places got down into the low to mid 30s this morning. So definitely the coolest weather we've been seeing so far this fall. And things are going to start to warm up in the mornings gradually. Checking the Doppler radar mid-morning, you can see the showers that we had around earlier pretty much moved out towards the Cascades. It's a very weak little system that pushed in, and we're going to see a pause. Should see some sun breaks around the Sound as we head towards midday, but another little system associated with that is going to be moving in as we head towards this evening, and that is going to give us another round of showers tonight into early on Tuesday before we do dry out for midweek. Looking out there in Bellingham Tower Cam, just basically a gray morning. That's pretty much the story up and down the Sound today. We're not seeing a whole lot of variation. Looking about the same there. We've had fairly high ceilings with most of the Cascades visible most of the morning. You can see that again there in Tacoma, where you can see the base of Mount Rainier out in the distance, and a little bit of a break as you look farther to the south. That's always encouraging. 7-day forecast. Again, we see a few showers moving again overnight tonight and tomorrow, and then we get a midweek break with just some sun breaks. Still going to be a lot of clouds around, and then it starts to turn wetter as we head towards the weekend, but our temperatures rebound to get back up into the low 50s as we head towards the weekend. Though our snow levels also get up back to 5,000 to 6,000 feet, which isn't good in terms of accumulating snow in the ski areas. Checking the satellite image, you see this first system, not a whole lot to it. It's pretty weak, kind of dissipating in place. The secondary system is going to be moving in late today and overnight tonight, giving us another round of light showers around the area. So not a big producer, but it'll produce a little bit of snow up in the mountains, so that's good news. If we take a look at our future cast in terms of the rainfall, you can see this morning that little system moved in, just kind of dissipates, and then as we head towards this evening, you see that next system push in, giving us some showers around the area on into tomorrow morning. And then as we head towards later tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, we see things dry out, and they should stay pretty much that way through Wednesday. If we check the snowfall up in the mountains, we will see a little bit between now and tomorrow morning. You can see we actually pick up 1 to 2 inches up there. So at this point, all contributions are gratefully accepted up at the ski areas. Plus, with the cooler temperatures, the areas that do make snow have the ability to make snow up and down the mountains, which is also going to be helpful in trying to get our ski season underway. Take a look at as we move through the week, we'll continue to see some occasional snow. If you're headed across the passes, well, bare pavement, no restrictions for any of the mountain highway passes today. I don't look for that to change through the day today into tonight. And you see for Snoqualmie Pass, basically looking at cloudy skies and maybe a few snow flurries or light rain showers, but it's going to be amounting to much. The other higher passes will see a few flurries, but quantities will be light enough that it shouldn't impact travel. And you can see there for Snoqualmie Pass, seeing those showers kind of scattered around the area. Looking at our extended forecast then for today, those showers around kind of wrapping up now during the morning. We'll see those midday sun breaks. Then we're going to be looking for the showers to move back in again for this evening, mid-40s for the highs. Tomorrow morning, a few showers, then sun breaks in the afternoon, mid to upper 40s. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. Hopefully we'll see a little glimpse of the sun now and again, mid-40s for the highs, but those overnight lows starting to warm up a little bit. Increasing showers on Thursday. It looks like a rainy day Friday. Decreasing showers with a little bit of clearing Saturday, and then rain turning to showers on Sunday, but temperatures over the weekend warming back into the low 50s, and as I said, snow levels will rise up to about 5,000 to 6,000 feet.
All right, well, if anyone in the Northwest wants to escape the cold, Phoenix is where you should head. Meteorologist Ginger Jeffries is watching the pleasant conditions in Arizona, but a shakeup on the horizon this week.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. A look at your weather out west across Arizona where, wow, we are in the zone. As the rest of the nation, my goodness, been dealing with some pretty tough travel conditions with all the snow, all the cold air, all the wet roads. We are cruising, folks. In fact, we're enjoying sundowns like this one from Lake Havasu City. A little bit of thin clouds here and there. These clouds are not carrying in any kind of moisture that's going to produce precipitation, but they certainly produce just incredible views. You can see all the rich colors in the sky. Well, today we've got pretty clear skies across the region, a couple thin clouds entering into the mix late day, and we've got some wind to talk about in Bullhead City. There are a series of low pressure systems moving through to the north. It is going to have an impact on our bottom line, but as far as any kind of rain, you can see these icons show we got pretty sunny, clear skies. Show low, a little bit of cloud cover for you. Daytime highs at about 44. 72 today in Phoenix. I've got 67 in Quartzsite and right about 42 in Flagstaff. So here we go. When I say a series of low pressure systems, I mean this started last week. All these lows being cut off by the jet stream that is capturing all that Arctic air and just like I said, continuing to bring some pretty severe weather. But as they continue to march on by, understand they're really just barely clipping the four corners. So there is a slight chance that we could see some drizzly, rainy conditions on northern tier of the state into Navajo Nation. But I think the bigger impact will be the cold air associated with these lows, because look at our temperatures are trending down. Yeah, we're dropping into the upper 60s by the middle part of this week. And because of that cold air, we're really feeling it in the northern tier where we do have a freeze warning for Mojave County tomorrow morning through about 9 a.m. as temperatures dip below 32 degrees. As far as rainfall, minimal at best. I mean, this is 1/10 of an inch, so it doesn't look like we're going to see any moisture overhead. Of course, we'll adjust this as the week goes on. It looks like our best opportunity will be for the White Mountains by about Wednesday into Thursday. And as mentioned today, only about a 10%. That's just kind of a hint. For high country, yep, we've got an opportunity for rain, possibly a dusting of snow Wednesday into Thursday, just because that cold air coming in behind the front. And here for Phoenix, our only opportunity looks to be on Thursday, and I'm talking about maybe 10% opportunity. Now, we have had healthy amounts of rainfall. In fact, this past October is the third rainiest on record with over 3 inches of rain. Normal month would be about a 1/2 inch. So yeah, this is now the wettest fall on record for Phoenix with over 6 inches of rain. Today, no rain, just very nice conditions as we get up to about 72 degrees. Still, this is above the normal range. Look at this. Our normal number about 69 degrees. So we're elevated, but those overnight conditions are coming down. I mean, look at this. We've got mid to low 40s on the board, and we're going to continue to see this theme all week long as temperatures come down, as those low pressure systems basically brush the northern tier of the state. Flagstaff, your daytime highs are falling into the upper 30s. And here in Phoenix, we're going from the 70s into the 60s by Wednesday.
60s are still nice compared to what many people will be feeling. When we come back, we are going to take a look at what is going down in California. Looks like things are pretty nice this week there as well. Welcome back. Some penguins at the London Zoo are counting down the days until Christmas. These Humboldt penguins were seen checking out an advent calendar filled with their favorite treat of small fish instead of chocolate, of course. The calendar is part of the zoo's Magic at Christmas festivities. Humboldt penguins are notoriously clumsy on land. In the water, they're much more graceful, swimming at speeds up to 30 miles per hour. Originally from Chile and Peru, Humboldt penguins are facing dwindling numbers in the wild. These furry guys are currently considered a threatened species. Let's go now to California. Meteorologist Monica Woods is in Sacramento with a look at the mild but at times foggy conditions in Northern California.
I'm meteorologist Monica Woods checking out our forecast, and it's more of rinse and repeat, at least to start us off for the week, but big changes coming for the middle of the week, at least for the valley forecast. Mostly sunny for the coast and the foothills. We are socked in with fog here Through the Central Valley for the Sierra, more sunshine and fairly mild conditions, a little bit cooler than what we saw last week, though. Our visibility has been restricted throughout the valley pretty much since last week. It was a tough travel period for many people traveling up and down the valley for Thanksgiving, but some changes coming our way. We'll see fog for our Monday and Tuesday. But by the time we get into our Wednesday, winds start to shift more out of the northwest. Those are dry and warming winds, and they will help erode some of this fog that has been persistent throughout the valley. Very gray conditions up and down the Central Valley of California. Now again, as a weather system approaches on Tuesday, that's going to disrupt this very stable weather environment. So we start to see a little bit of fog starting to clear out on Tuesday, but better clearing on Wednesday. That's when we pick up the northwest winds. It's going to struggle a little bit through parts of the San Joaquin Valley, but at least the Sacramento Valley, northwest winds. Normally this time of year, without any rain, we'd be very concerned about northwest winds, but since we've had rain, we've had fog, things are pretty moist right now throughout the valley, so that lowers the fire concerns there. Heading into the end of the week, still have a touch of those northwest winds that will hopefully keep away much of that fog. Highs are in the 40s for the Sierra. Saw 60s last week, but then we had a cold front move through, at least for the east side of the state, and that helped to cool things down for the high country. Want to get that snow making going up there. Highs are going to be in the 50s to near 60 throughout the foothills. Again, upper foothills are going to be sunny, lower foothills a little touch of the fog, but then that clears throughout the day. 50s through much of the central Sierra as we move through the valley. Again, we're looking at areas of fog and a chilly start to the work and school week. Temperatures will hover right around 50 degrees. Heading to the central coast, highs are going to be in the 60s. It is absolutely beautiful along the coast. Sunny skies there, but you head inland and then you get into the fog. We're only looking at 49 today for Los Banos, Mendota 51, Hanford at 52 degrees. So there's really not much of a swing from morning lows to afternoon highs. We see that as well as we move our way northward. Bay Area forecast is chilly. Highs are going to be in the 50s. We head inland and we're only in the 40s to right around 50. The fog really preventing much of the sunshine from coming through and warming things up. 50s along the northwest coast here. We see 50s and upper 40s throughout the Central Valley. Again, Chico pretty socked in for today, 49 degrees. And then traveling throughout the capital region, highs are going to hover in the upper 40s to right around 50. Normally we should be about 59 degrees. So we've been sitting roughly about 10 degrees below average for about the past week or so. Again, we see very little change for our sky conditions, a mix of sun and clouds. No real snow or precipitation coming through for the mountains. For the foothills, again, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds, a fairly consistent temperature pattern there. 50s expected for afternoon highs after morning lows in the 40s. And for the coast, again, not much in the way of disruptive weather pattern. No showers expected in the outlook, and that will be in play as well for our extended forecast in the valley. Warming conditions as we start to pick up those northwest winds on Tuesday night through Wednesday. That's finally going to scour some of that fog out. Highs will be in the 60s to right around the upper 50s.
Thank you, Monica. It is a similar easy week to be in Southern California. Meteorologist Evan Narani is in San Diego with a look at the nice conditions down south.
Hi there, I'm meteorologist Evan Narani in San Diego, and we are starting off the new work week and the start of December with dry skies. We had a little bit of fog to start off the morning commute, but over the course of the next several hours, we should be seeing the sunshine beaming down with temperatures out by the coast in the mid-60s. Going into the nighttime hours, we will start to see those clouds reconvene. Tonight into early tomorrow, we've got another bout of fog expected, and especially Wednesday morning as this trough of low pressure, this inside slider as we call it, slides down across the western U.S. We originally expected Wednesday to be a day of rain for us. We thought that this trough of low pressure might have enough strength to sustain some rain on the backside of it, but now it seems like all the moisture that we're going to see is associated with snow around, say, the Midwest moving east. So for us in San Diego, we're going to stay dry all the way through the end of the week. But what we could see is that increase in onshore flow, a slight drop in temperatures, only a few degrees or so, and then another weekend warm up with sunshine on the way thanks to this ridge of high pressure that's going to be building. So what we see with this ridge is that going into the weekend and early next week, it starts to compound. It gives us more sunshine. Temperatures will climb just slightly going into the upcoming weekend, and we'll get more sunshine, especially in the morning stretch, as opposed to the fog that we've noticed for many of the past couple mornings, and that we will continue to see going into the middle of the week. High temperatures for today, 60s and 70s out there. Carlsbad and Del Mar, along with downtown San Diego, 66 degrees. Fallbrook, Escondido, and La Mesa, 71. Balancing out toward about average, but in general, our afternoon highs are trending in spots that are not on par with average. They're a few degrees cooler than average. As we get into the middle of the week, we'll notice that those temperatures will slide another maybe 2-3 degrees or so. Nothing too dramatic. Down to 65 along the water by Wednesday afternoon. From Wednesday into Thursday, as that trough of low pressure exits to the east, we see a climb in temperatures that takes us to the upper 60s. 69 would be on par with average out by the coast, and so would 71 or so degrees inland. So we'll notice that that drop in temperatures also comes through Wednesday. That fog has been generally hugging our inland valleys and our eastern valleys, really all the way to the western slopes of the mountains. So don't be too surprised if going into tomorrow morning and Wednesday morning we notice the same, and then a little bit of mist and drizzle associated with it as well. By the time we get to the weekend, though, that's where the sunshine starts to prevail a little bit more. We won't have as much of the morning cloud cover, but each afternoon, even through the next couple of days with that morning cloud cover, we'll still have some afternoon sunshine. Then by the weekend, overnight lows are still in the mid 40s, afternoon highs in the low 70s. For the mountains, I will say overnight temperatures are trending cooler than average. We get all the way down to 30 for tonight into tomorrow. We get down to 31 from Thursday into Friday. So don't be too surprised if you need to grab maybe the warmer jacket than usual as those temperatures start to drop into the sub-freezing range. Might even notice a little bit of frost out there. First opportunity for it of the season, essentially. Temperatures across the mountains are going to be in the about upper 50s, low 60s. For the deserts, we'll be in the 30s and 40s overnight. Temperatures each afternoon will make it to the low 70s, maybe even just upper 60s by Thursday, and then warming up to the mid 70s as we get toward the upcoming weekend. 75 for both our Saturday and Sunday across San Diego. Back to you.
It really is an easy day to be in San Diego. All right, we are hearing from residents across Washington that wildlife are wreaking havoc on their lawns. I took the issue to the Pacific Northwest resident gardening expert to see what's going on and why it's not the animals to blame, but something underneath the surface. That story up next. Welcome back. Finally today, crows and raccoons are teaming up, destroying lawns across Western Washington. I spoke to our resident gardening expert to get to the bottom of what is happening and what you can do to stop it.
When a yard gets destroyed, the first call to make
So what is happening here?
is gardening expert Cisco Morris.
Last week, it was kind of torn up.
Lorena Denny figured out that was because of crows. But then this week, it got worse.
It was peeled back.
Peeled back, that's the classic sign of raccoon damage.
The raccoons finished what the crows started, digging for a snack.
You got a shovel I could use, or
Cisco dug up a European Schaefer beetle.
there's one.
An invasive species causing more problems in recent years, eating away at lawns.
Is that one alive?
Yeah, that's alive, all right.
Oh.
Lorena wanted to know if neighbors' lawns were facing a similar fate.
I posted on the Federway community group.
Boy, you got a lot of responses, didn't you?
Across the South Sound, the same story. Crows starting with an appetizer and the raccoons destroying dessert.
Oh, look at that one. Oh my gosh, that looks raccoony to me right there.
Someone in Lakewood actually caught the culprits in the act. They added this video showing two large raccoons snacking on the front lawn's treats.
The raccoons are the worst because they really, just like you saw, they peel up the grass and chow down, you know.
Cisco says there are a few options to make this stop. Motion sensor devices like this that spray water.
First couple of times, it'll scare the raccoons away. After that, the raccoons go, oh, I'm getting a nice shower, you know. So you know, and people try hot peppers. Well, in this weather, it's not going to work no matter what.
Yeah. Or a physical deterrent.
You could get chicken wire or something and put it over this area and, you know, pound in stakes that'll really hold it tight.
Okay.
And that should stop the raccoons. I don't know if it'll stop the crows or not, you know. Or you could get a wiener dog. Wiener dogs will chase anything out of your garden.
But while the crows and the raccoons are just here to snack, he says the real problem is getting rid of the equally hungry beetles.
Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do anything about this until next June.
That's what I was afraid of.
For now, they'll try to deter and save what they can of their front yard.
It's really neat that you're showing this so many people can learn about it and find out a safe way to get rid of this pest.
Thanks to you.
Oh la la.
Leah Pizzetti, King 5 News. Well, that does it for us here on Weather Out West on this December 1st. It is hard to believe the December season is here. As you heard, first day of meteorological winter, but we, of course, are still weeks away from that winter solstice on December 21st. So be sure to stay with Weather Out West all week long as we keep you up to date on your forecast. But of course, we're in that little bit of a mellow period right now when hopefully people are heading home and get a few weeks before we start that Christmas travel. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great Monday.